I'm here with head boys basketball coach Luke McAnulty. Coach Mack, season's about on us.
It is crazy how fast it is.
Yes, we got a lot of guys coming back from last year's team. Just talk about like who you have coming back, some of your returning players, and kind of what you expect from some of those guys.
Yeah, so we got basically everybody back from. We returned all 5 starters. We got Cole back, we got Davin back, Allen, Mason, Jaden. Lucas. I'll probably forget somebody, but we legit return everybody. And makes my life a little bit easier, knowing that they kind of know what we expect and kind of how to. We laid the foundation of our culture last year, and I expect a big step forward this year with this group, and these guys.
Right, and this is your third year of coaching boys. Your first year, you were with the girls a couple of years, and then you coached boys and girls for 1 year. First year, last year was your first year just taking the boys. So this group of boys has had you for a couple of years now. So they're a little familiar with your system now.
For sure.
So how much does that help going into this year?
It helps a lot. Just like you said, the first year we was really just trying to get to know each other. And I had to do boys and girls, and that was very hectic.
Right.
And then last year, building year, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it just helps us kind of knowing the standards and what we expect. And these guys they're great kids and they're great basketball players.
Coach, you got like we talked about, you have a lot of guys returning. How many seniors do you have this year?
We got 6 coming back, and they're a good little group of 6, and very excited, hard workers, do the right things on and off the floor. They're just great kids, great basketball players, and we are blessed to have them in our program.
Right. We talked about last year. Since you have so many returning, fairly young team last year that you put on the court.
Very. I know at times we put 3, 4 sophomores with a junior out there.
Right.
And sometimes with a senior when Fur was healthy.
Yeah.
But we were super young, and sometimes we had that deer in the headlights look at times. But that's part of being young, and we expected that. We didn't expect to be world beaters the first time go around, and with this group, and I expect big things from this group this year.
Let's talk about the conference a little bit. We had it's going to be unfamiliar for a lot of us. I know we had several teams moving into the conference that we don't know anything about. We lost Lamar, who was a semifinal team. You lost CAC, who was a state champion.
Yeah.
So in a way, you would think, well, the conference is going to get a little easier. But who are the teams that are kind of new to the conference, and what do we know about them?
That's the thing. Some of them are new, like never. I've never played Haskell Harmony Grove or Glen Rose or somebody like that. We are familiar with Jessieville. They were in our conference my first couple of years here.
Right.
So we kind of know what to expect down there. They do a dang good job down there, and they're always going to be solid.
Right.
They're going to be tough. Haskell Harmony Grove is going to be tough, but we still have the same ones like Mayflower.
Yep.
And they always got great athletes and usually have a really good team. I would like to say it got easier, but we just don't really know until we kind of start looking at them. And but I think it's going to be tough. But I do think it's very evenly this year instead of having the 2 juggernauts and CAC and Lamar. I think it's more open this year.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but it may look a little bit like our football conference where there was just not a lot of separation in our top 5 teams. Anybody could beat anybody on a given night. I think we proved that. In football, we could beat anybody, but we could also get beat by just about anybody.
You're exactly right. And I think the same way here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough conference, but I'm excited about how open it is going to be.
So we talked about your returners. Who are some newcomers that may be contributors this year? Some of your sophomores.
We're moving up a really good sophomore class. I like that group. They play hard, great kids. I think Cooper Horn's going to. I think he has a chance to be really, really good this year and moving forward. And Ethan Lindboom and Sawyer, that whole little group is going to be a good, solid group for us. And they're team first guys, and that's what we want. They are big guys that you can build your culture off of. Team first players, and they understand their jobs, and they understand, hey, we're going to put the team above our needs, and those are great kids to have in your program.
So one of the things, talking about last year's bunch, it was a fun group to watch. The thing that I noticed just as a fan, an observer, just guys went out there and they played hard every night. So what is your expectation for your kids on the court?
I think the biggest thing is we always, there's two things that we always talk about. We can control our attitude and effort. And if we can take care of those two things, we're going to be just fine as a basketball team and as a program.
Right.
And our big thing that we're preaching, even in junior high, is you play as hard as you can for as long as you can, and we can find a sub. This is probably the first time in my coaching career that I feel like we have depth 7 through 12.
Right.
And that's a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of preach, hey, just play hard for 5 minutes, I can get you somebody. Or play hard for 3 minutes, we can get you somebody. And I think the kids are really buying into that, and that makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, talking about that depth, I mean, how many guys you think could end up in the rotation on a regular basis for you?
I really think we could go 9 or 10. I mean, I know that's crazy to even think about, but I don't think the drop off is that bad at all, from 9 to 10. And so I'm really excited about this group. I think this could be one of the best groups to come through, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Looking forward to the start of the basketball season. We don't want to rush it because
absolutely not.
Well, and that's one of the things we really hadn't talked about. We got a lot of guys that are in football right now, so it's going to take a little bit of time for those guys to get acclimated. It does, from that switch from football to basketball. So how many guys do you have coming over?
We got 4 guys right now. We have about 13 or 14 coming over.
So you got to hit the ground running with those guys.
Yes, and me and Coach Bennett was looking at the schedule yesterday, and I'm like, well, if they win this week, which I think they will, and I hope they do, then we can look at next week. Well, what are we going to do about next week if they win next week, which we hope they do? Then that kind of stresses you out a little bit, and luckily we got Thanksgiving break in there, so that's going to be all right.
Well, Coach, good luck to you. Whenever the season starts, we don't know when that will be. We hope it's as long as possible because we hope we keep playing.
Absolutely.
But we are looking forward to this basketball season. Expect great things from this bunch. And again, I think there is a lot of buzz. There's a lot of excitement, when we finally do get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, good luck to you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Go Red Devils.
Thank you.